Beasts, Men and Gods is a fascinating adventure and travel story written by the Polish explorer and writer Ferdynand Ossendowski. The book tells about his incredible escape from Siberia after the Russian Revolution and the Civil War, when the Bolsheviks took control of the country. It is based on real events that happened around 1918 to 1920, but it also includes many descriptions of nature, culture, religion, and mystery. It is both a travel story and a reflection on the human soul. At the beginning of the book, Ossendowski is living in Siberia, working as a scientist and professor. When the Russian Revolution begins, life becomes extremely dangerous. The Bolsheviks, who have taken power, are killing or imprisoning anyone connected to the old government. Ossendowski, who once worked for anti-Bolshevik forces, realizes that he could be arrested at any moment. He decides to flee to the south, hoping to cross Mongolia and reach safety in China. This decision marks the start of an extraordinary journey that will take him across thousands of kilometers of wild and unknown land. The first part of the journey takes place in the cold and endless landscapes of Siberia. Ossendowski and a small group of companions travel through forests, rivers, and mountains. They face extreme cold, hunger, and exhaustion. They move secretly, hiding from Bolshevik patrols and bandits. Along the way, they meet peasants, Cossacks, and refugees. Some of them offer help and food, others betray them or try to rob them. Ossendowski describes the life of the Siberian people, their struggles, and the harshness of nature with many realistic details. He shows the beauty of the landscape but also its dangers, wolves, snowstorms, and freezing nights. Eventually, the group reaches Mongolia, where the atmosphere changes completely. The author finds himself in a world that seems almost magical and ancient. The Mongolian people live close to nature, following their old traditions and Buddhist beliefs. They live in circular tent cultures and move with their herds of horses and yaks. For Ossendowski, Mongolia represents both freedom and mystery. He is impressed by the calm and dignity of the people, their spiritual practices, and their deep respect for the natural world. He also notices how religion influences everything. Every mountain, river, and stone seems to have spiritual meaning. In Mongolia, Ossendowski meets many interesting figures: Buddhist monks, noble princes, fortune tellers, and warriors. Some help him, others try to use him for their own plans. One of the most striking people he hears about is Baron Roman von Ungern, a strange and terrifying warlord of German and Baltic origin. Ungern commands a mixed army of Mongols, Buryats, and Russians. He believes that he has a sacred mission to destroy the Bolsheviks and restore the old empires of Asia. He is cruel and violent, but at the same time deeply religious and superstitious. When Ossendowski finally meets him, he feels both fear and fascination. Ungern lives between reality and legend. He sees himself as a kind of divine warrior, chosen by destiny to bring order through destruction. Ossendowski's description of him shows how madness and mysticism can exist together during times of chaos. Throughout the journey, Ossendowski and his companions face many dangers. They are attacked by bandits, betrayed by guides, and threatened by natural disasters. At times, they have almost nothing to eat and must depend on the kindness of strangers. The author writes vividly about their hunger, exhaustion, and moments of despair. But he also describes how people can show generosity and courage even in desperate situations. Simple acts of friendship or faith give them the strength to continue. Ossendowski's scientific background appears in his careful observation of the land and animals. He describes the behavior of horses, camels, and wild animals, showing how nature and human life are deeply connected. The title of the book, Beasts, Men and Gods, reflects this idea. It represents the three levels of existence that he experiences during his journey. Beasts symbolize the struggle for survival and the instinctive side of life. Men represent human society with its moral choices, politics, and suffering, and gods express the spiritual and mystical dimension that he discovers among the Mongols and Lamas. In the final part of the book, after months of travel and danger, Ossendowski finally crosses into China. He feels exhausted but also transformed. The world he left behind, the chaos of revolutionary Russia, seems far away, but the memories of suffering and courage remain. He looks back on his adventure not only as a physical escape but also as a spiritual journey. He has seen cruelty and kindness, ignorance and wisdom, despair and faith. The experience has taught him that the human spirit can survive even in the darkest times, and that truth can appear in many different forms, in science, in religion, and in the legends told by simple people. The book ends with a tone of reflection and mystery. Ossendowski wonders whether the stories of the King of the World and the Hidden Kingdom might contain some truth. He suggests that perhaps there really is a deeper power guiding humanity, hidden beneath the surface of history. His journey through beasts, men, and gods becomes a metaphor for the human search for meaning in a world full of violence and uncertainty. Beasts, Men, and Gods is therefore much more than a travel book. It is an adventure, a historical testimony, and a philosophical meditation all at once. It shows the fall of old empires, the confusion of revolution, and the strange beauty of Central Asia. It also expresses the author's respect for the courage and faith of the people he met. Through his eyes, readers see how the natural world, human strength, and spiritual mystery are all connected. The story is full of action and danger, but also filled with thought and emotion. In the end, it leaves the reader with a sense of wonder, about history, about humanity, and about the invisible forces that may move our world.